This is exactly the prime example of PYQ repetition. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of these four, three concepts have already been asked n number of times in the previous year questions. This paper is from 2021, so pretty obviously in 2020 and 2019 you will find these things, as well as till 24 also many things out of these have already been repeated. Hello everyone, welcome back once again. You are watching Premium 2.0 and this video is the next part of the series which we are continuing for our 2021 psychology session. You will find approximately 10 to 15 questions from this particular paper of 2021 if you follow the complete series, which is available on YouTube completely absolutely free. Okay, so this is the question which we left in the last part and we will find what is the correct answer for this. First of all, it is saying about encoding specificity hypothesis. Then we are having the retrieval induced forgetting. Then we have the schema theory of memory or schema theory of memory. And then we have the levels of processing theory. So in the exam hall, let's suppose you are sitting in the exam hall and you have no idea how to solve this. You have some basic knowledge and you have watched our videos. And I guarantee you this much enough is possible that you will answer this question exactly the answer what NTA has provided just because of some basic knowledge and you are using common sense. See, out of these things, let's suppose you don't know anything, but you know this number thing 4 level of processing theory, cause you have heard that it came in 1972. By whom? By Craig and Lockhart, the same year when Prime Minister Indira Gandhi visited the Stockholm Convention. Okay. Now, before 4 years, what happened in 1968? It came the Atkinson-Shiffrin. 1974 came the Baddeley-Hitch, and in 2011, these Baddeley-Hitch guys added one more component, which was the question in recent exam. Now, just on this basis, you will be able to solve the question. What does level of processing mean? What does Craig and Lockhart wanted to say from this levels of processing meaning or what their theory? They just wanted that okay, elaboration, okay, the deep processing also, okay, deep processing. So whenever you have processing some knowledge, whenever you are processing some things very deeply, it will be available for a long term or it will be available for a longer period of time. Okay, so if you study something in deep, then it will be available in your memory for a longer period of time, just like how this level of processing theory is maintaining in your long-term memory once you have heard about 1972 and now you know the complete story. Okay, so for your entire life you will not forget that this came in 1972, Atkinson Shiffrin was the first one, and like this. So what we did over here, we elaborated more things and we processed this knowledge deeply. Okay, now you know that in levels of processing it will talk completely about what? It will talk about deep explanation or deep understanding and all those things. Okay, now your memory will depend completely on what is your level of processing. Okay, now it is so simple. You have to just match this knowledge out of these four options and let's try to find out how it is suitable. Now it is telling you theoretical perspective and explanation as well. Okay, so option number first does not endorse different memory storage. Is it related to this thing levels of processing? Might be, might not be. Okay, we will read all the options now. Suppress unwanted memories. See, this level of processing has nothing to do with suppression of unwanted memories, nothing to do with this thing. Now next, superiority of recognition over recall. Pretty obviously it will not say about this thing also. Now effect of meaning and knowledge on memory. No, it is not talking about the meaning and knowledge, it is talking about the processing thing. Okay, so if you will read complete this Craig and Lockhart model, you will get to understand why second, third and fourth are not the options over here. So what is the option correct? Correct option is your does not endorse different memory storage, and this is absolutely correct. Why? Because as soon as you read this statement does not endorse different memory storage, what reminds you, what came in your mind? 1968, what I have told you in previous video, everything is related to each other. In 1968, what came up? Atkinson and Shiffrin came up the idea of stage model or models of memory, like sensory memory, short-term memory, long-term memory. But this Craig and Lockhart, these guys were not talking about these models of memory. That is why option number D is matching with your does not endorse different memory storage. Okay, if it was written Atkinson and Shiffrin over here, then obviously it would be matched with them. But also this theory is not matching anywhere with what? Anywhere it is not matching with the different memory storage. That's why it is linked over here and that's why it was a difficult paper at that time in 2021. Okay, but don't worry. Now see option number this suppress unwanted memories. Tell me how many times you would have studied this thing. Okay, try to guess how many times you would have studied this thing. Suppress unwanted memories. Try to think, try to recollect, try to deep process this knowledge, that where you have studied about suppressing unwanted memories. Let's surprise, you have studied this in defense mechanism. When we talk about what? When we talk about repression. Okay. What is repression? Suppression of unwanted memories. Those memories, bad moment, emotional moments, which you don't want anymore in your life. So what you use? You use repression as a defense mechanism. Okay. That is another case. But right now, what is suppressing of unwanted memories? Which of this is related to? Is it related to encoding specificity hypothesis? Is it related to this one or this one? See, this is D1, absolutely correct, and I guess you have got the answer also. Okay. See, in only second option, it is the correct answer. Only in second option this thing is given. D1 is given. So these guys, NTA guys, just wanted to ask you that whether or not you know what is levels of processing memory, whether or not you are having basic knowledge of these things or not. Okay. Now, see, they have also repeated repetition. It is a PYQ repetition again. So what it will be? It will be retrieval induced forgetting. B second, suppress unwanted memories. Okay. So what is happening? It first it is a retrieval and induced forgetting. So this is called as the suppress unwanted memories. Now, encoding specificity hypothesis. What it is? It is superiority of recognition over recall. Okay. So recognition is more over recall. Now, what is schema or schema theory of memory? It is effect of meaning and knowledge on memory over here. And you would have heard this name, Bartlett's. Talked about this schema theory and this schema, what is happening in this question. So what is the correct answer right now? As per NTA, option number second is the correct answer. Level of processing theory is this with this with this, suppression of unwanted. B second is absolutely correct. And this encoding specificity hypothesis is superiority of recognition over recall. To read more on encoding specificity hypothesis, you can refer to the C book and then you are done. Okay, it is mentioned over there that the physical conditions are also important for your memory and your recognition and recall and all those things. Okay, all right. And the schema theory is that Frederick Bartlett's one. You will also find the mention in the C book. Now moving forward to the next question. Now moving forward to next question, question number 73. This is from your unit number 10, emerging areas, and they are talking about poverty over here. So after a long time they have asked about this poverty, and in the recent times you will not find a particular question on poverty. They are even asking you about rape and all those things, euthanasia and all those things. Recent time this is all going on, but that time 2021 we will talk about poverty now. Okay, so this is a common sense question again. Once again, do you know some basic English knowledge or not, and then you will be able to solve this question. I hope every one of you know what is poverty, so let's move ahead. Situational poverty. So out of these, where you are finding the situation? Okay, from this, not equipped with tools to move out, not able to meet the average standard, scarcity of necessities like shelter, running water and food, caused by environmental disasters, divorce and other issues like poor health. Okay, so option number, this is more suitable. Situational poverty can be because of environmental disaster. COVID-19, people are poor now, or facing poverty and other issues like this. Okay, or poor health maybe. This is a prime example of situational poverty. Okay, because of the situation, poverty has arisen. Okay, now what is this generational poverty? What does generation mean? Generation means you, your parents, their parents. So generational thing you are getting over here. Okay, so what is most relatable? Scarcity, not able to meet the average. No, everything will be B1. Not equipped with tools to move out. This will be some simple. For this solving this question, you need some basic English knowledge, and that is it. Okay, no psychology study will help you if you are not able to answer this. Okay, now, some basic English knowledge. Relative poverty. What is relative poverty? Not able to meet the average standard of society. Okay. So everybody has car, but you don't have car. It means you are relatively poor. Just for this example. Okay. And what is absolute poverty? This is very IMP. It has been repeated PYQ. PYQ 2019. The same question was repeated about poverty and poverty gap and all those things. Okay. So what is absolute poverty? Scarcity of necessities like shelter, running water, and food. So if anybody is not having this shelter, running water and food, they are in the verge of absolute poverty. Okay. So these are different types of poverty. You can remember if you want, but it is most unlikely that they will ask you again. It was asked in 2021 and after that this question was discarded. But some basic English knowledge will help you. So it is up to you that if you want to study, you can remember this thing, but it is not required. Okay, you can also solve this question with some basic common sense. Now, sense. This question is again a PYQ or just a common sense question once again. Okay. Let's try to, okay, didn't I tell you the answer? Okay, so what will be the answer over here? Situational poverty is this thing, A4. Now we left with 2 only. Generational poverty, this one, B1. So option number 3 is the correct answer over here. Now this question again a common sense one. Okay, just read and answer. Type of communication in family therapy. I am telling you, just remove this also. Even if you remove this, you will be able to answer. Okay, you have to simply match the word meaning, what exact word means. Okay, now congruent. I hope everyone might be knowing this word congruent. Or blaming, you are blaming someone, you know. And super, you know, meaning super means somewhat top or something like that. And reasonable, you also know. Okay, so super reasonable, I am assuming that you know the meaning of super reasonable. If you are listening to this lecture, then it's meaning you know the meaning of super reasonable. Blaming and congruent might be, might not be. Okay, now but if you have studied, what if you have studied Carl Rogers CCT or CCP, client centered therapy, okay, person centered therapy, then you might be knowing the meaning of what? You might be knowing the meaning of congruence. Okay, so this word is taken congruence from this word, it made congruent over here. Okay, now what is the meaning of congruence in this therapy? Person centered therapy or client centered therapy, what is the meaning of congruence? It is what somewhat handling relationship with the patient, with the client, sorry, not patient, and things like that. Okay, so I hope you know the meaning of congruent. And yes, one more thing, that real self and ideal self. At least you would have studied this also, and if not, go refer to NCRT, you will find this thing over there. Okay, real self and ideal self. Okay, so what we say over there, we say that there should be congruence. What there should be? There should be congruence between these two. Real self and ideal self, there should be always what? There should be always congruence in between. Okay, now we have a general basic framework idea of what congruence can be. Okay, now carries on air of self-importance. Is it congruence talking about this thing? Pretty obviously, a big no. Placing others above oneself. No, how this can be possible? How Rogers can say that congruence is placing others above oneself? Okay, not possible. Seeing the world with a lens of objectivity and coolness. Seeing the world with a lens of objectivity and coolness might be, we are in doubt. Reasonably flexible with a sense of connection. Okay, this can be, but now we are confused, we are in a better position, we have to choose between third and fourth. Okay, and we are discarded, 1 and 2 can never be the answer. Okay, now we are confused between third one and fourth one. Okay, pretty easy now. Now we will try to look for another word, that is super reasonable. Okay, what is super reasonable can be? Super reasonable can be carries an air of self importance. No. Placing others above oneself. No. Okay, it can be super reasonable. Super reasonable can be seeing the world with a lens of objectivity and coolness. Yes, this is most suitable. And reasonably flexible with a sense of connection. No, might not be, but D is most suitable, looking with option number 3 over here. Okay, so D and 3 we are having in two of the options. Okay, so if we do this, then pretty obviously we are getting congruent as the fourth option as well. Okay, so congruent means reasonably flexible with a sense of connection. Okay, now we are confused between placating and blaming right now. Okay, if you know the word meanings, you might be able to do this thing, but blaming is most suitable or more suitable. Okay, now we will try to find out what blaming can be. Placing others above oneself or carries an air of self-importance. If you want to take a risk between these two, for blaming, if you want one or if you want two, what you will choose. Okay, in the exam hall also you need to think like this, so it will be more easy for you. Okay, now what you will answer blaming for? Blaming means carrying an air of self-importance or placing others above oneself. When you will blame someone, when you will place yourself, placing others above oneself. Okay, placing others above oneself, so you are placing others above yourself. The statement is saying, will this be blaming or carries an air of self importance, that you will blame someone when you are having, okay, I am the boss, I will do this and I will blame others. Okay, so pretty obviously C is going with the one factor, carries an air of self importance. In that case you will blame if you are having self importance. Okay, so blaming goes with one C1 and then you have the answer. Okay, so I just vanished this also. Even also you are able to get the answer, and this is only the correct answer over here. This is only the correct answer. So in the examination hall you need to also think like this also sometimes. Okay, but now we'll talk about type of communication in family therapy. So what you will note down now is, that is very important, family therapy was given by whom? Virginia Satir or Satir. Okay, so this Virginia Satir gave this family therapy first of all. And in family therapy, there are types of communication and they are congruent, placating, blaming, and super reasonable. Okay, super easy. Now, you know what all these things are. So just be careful. Remember this thing. Now, what will happen next time? What they will ask you in family therapy, there are blah 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 types of communication. Which of them are not and which of them are? So you will find congruent, placating, blaming, and super reasonable. If you find any of these, mark them. And if it asking which of the following is not, so then leaving all this, whatever option is the odd one, just mark that, and then you will be able to fetch 2 plus marks. But next time they can ask you who has originated or from where this came. This came from your Virginia Satir. Okay, family therapy proposed by this, and from where this topic is coming, it is coming from your unit number 9. So see, sometimes even if you don't look at question, but you have some basic understanding of meaning and knowledge, and you try to apply common sense, you will get the answer approximately 95% of times. Okay, and there we go. We are now on unit number 8, that is our social psychology. PYQ, 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 and our recent one PYQ. Most probably they will ask you again. This is IMP. And from where you can read all this? Pretty easy. C book. Open that, you will find everything mentioned over there. Now it's time to explore this question. Okay, now what are these are social concepts and the explanations are also given over here. So by the way, you are watching Premium 2.0. Welcome to the channel. Now let's start elaboration likelihood model. So what it is, go to C book, read this thing given by Patty, not Patty, it is Petty and Sasiopo in your 1980. Okay, so it is in 1980. So if I tell you before 1980, 8 years ago, what happened? In 1972 came the LOP model. Before 4 years, 1968 came the that Atkinson-Shiffrin one. Okay, all right. So elaboration likelihood model, when it came in 1980. Okay, 1980, and it is talking about what? Gender stereotypes? No way. Central and peripheral route to persuasion. Okay, so from this persuasion, you will be in shock now. From this persuasion, June 2024 question was set. What is simply persuasion? Okay. Now, this is correct. A is going with second and A is going with second in two of the options. Alright. Now, realistic conflict theory. What is this? This is your theory for intergroup conflict. Intergroup conflict. This theory is conflict or conflict. Okay, intergroup conflict. So let's suppose you are having two groups, A group and B group. You want to have conflict between them, and then we will talk about this realistic conflict theory. Interestingly, first of all, this name came up with Donald Campbell. Recently I was taking a lecture and I just found this thing that Donald Campbell was the first one who proposed this realistic conflict theory. But you majorly study where? You study in the Muzaffar Sharif Roberts cave experiment, and that is how this PYQ is getting repeated again and again. Okay, Muzaffar Sharif, continuously they are asking on Muzaffar Sharif, so be alert, be careful for this Muzaffar Sharif guy. Okay, so in 1954 what happened? He did that experiment, cooperation and competition, and this is what related to realistic conflict theory. Okay, so now what you will mark then? Gender stereotypes? No way. This is already done. Ideological change and core aspect of a group? No. Intergroup competition? Yes, what I told you just. Intergroup competition as a source of prejudice. Realistic conflict theory, then we are having B with the 4. And I guess you get the answer as well. Option number 4 is the correct answer over here. Okay. Option number 4 is the correct answer. And another shock for you is recently examination they asked this question. Intergroup competition as a source of prejudice can be done by this theory. Wait, let me give you another shock. And see, this is the recent one, 30th of August question paper, what they are asking. A famous study called the Roberts Cave, you know, Muzaffar Sharif, conducted by Sharif et al. In 1961, demonstrated the social behavior known as. So what it can be? Social comparison, equal status context, self-fulfilling prophecy, or reciprocity of liking. And this is the extra extended version of this particular question which we are solving just now. So if you know the answer, feel free to comment down below and let's move on to the next part. So now you know about this realistic conflict theory. What it is intergroup competition as a source of prejudice. So prejudice can be done in a group, intergroup, by using competition. Don't worry, you will find this question if you are doing regular PYQs. Okay, so B is with your 4 and A is with your second number 1. So you got the answer as option number 4 over here. Now what is glass cliff? Glass cliff is your gender stereotypes. Glass cliff, visual cliff. Now what is visual cliff? Visual cliff is your phenomena for done by Eleanor Gibson for your depth perception. Okay, and what is schism, whatever it is your ideological change in core aspect of a group. Okay, so when a complete group's ideology gets changed, we are calling it as a schism. Okay, so this is the correct answer. D is with your third one, this is your with the first one, this is your for the second one, and this is for your fourth number one. Okay, so we have discussed all the concept which were used over here, and these are already very IMP. Okay, everything is PYQ. We'll find more questions on this also, this also, and this also. This has never been asked after that exam, so be prepared. They can ask you about this. So what is this? This is a ideological change in core aspect of a group. Okay, so that's all for today's part. I hope you enjoyed the video, you liked the video, and you learned something. So make sure that you are watching this Premium 2.2 complete series, and this is, I guess, seventh or eighth part, whatever it is. Make sure that you complete all the parts so that you can score easy marks in the upcoming examination. Okay. All right. You are watching 2021 Psychology Premium 2.2 free series. Make sure that you watch all the videos, and if you have not yet subscribed the channel, make sure that you subscribe the channel. And if you are not in the Telegram group yet, make sure that you are joining the Telegram group as well to receive the free EPPYQ book which have been shared already. Okay. All right. That's all for today. See you all on Monday. Till then, take care.